everyone, it's Melanie from Living Luxuriously for Less. And today we're going to do a Christmas home tour. And so I'm going to invite you guys to come along with me as I showcase the different areas in my home in which I have accented for the Christmas season. Now this first area is my entryway. And what I've done here, I decided to keep it the traditional red and green. And I'm using more of a chartreuse or a bright green color versus the dark or the emerald or the forest green, because I think that adds a little bit more umph and pop with the red. And so what I did is on the wreath, I just added a red and green piece of ribbon and tied a very simple bow. And I added the little leaves that are sprouting out in the back. And I took and I kind of joined together 3 of the green and gold ornaments and tied that on the wreath as well. And on the bottom, I used some whimsical Christmas trees that I purchased a couple of years ago during an after Christmas sale. And I added in 2 of the green and gold Christmas balls there as well. And I think I posted this on my Facebook page. I had done 2 different setups. And you guys like this a lot better, and I think you were exactly right, because this really flowed with my Christmas tree. And then the red candlesticks, I purchased those from Hobby Lobby during one of the 90% off sales. And the red glitter candles I purchased last Christmas, after Christmas, and I used those in my video for decorating for Valentine's Day. And so I just left it really simple and really clean. So I'm going to step back so you guys can see that. And I thought it was just a perfect, piece to add there, leading over to my Christmas tree. Okay, you guys, here's my Christmas tree and my mantle. And I know I had a separate video that was just basically about my Christmas tree, so I won't go on about that. You can go and check that video out. But I do want to mention that I am in a Christmas tree decorating contest with Rodent Surplus Imports, and I will include the information down in the description box below and in this video. And I would really appreciate if you guys go and vote for my tree. My goal is to get 1,000 likes, and I'm less than 100 away from that. And so I have over 6,000 wonderful viewers. And so I'm hoping that you guys will go out and support me in that contest. Now I'll tell you a little bit more about my mantle. This was not done at the time that I did the Christmas tree because I had a lot going on. For those of you all who don't know, I lost 5 family members within a span of 7 weeks, and 2 of those was my mom and my baby brother, and it really affected me, and I'm still dealing with it. But one of the things that I wanted to do this season was that I wanted to add a mantelpiece using pieces from my mother's old Christmas tree. And it's the type of Christmas tree that you actually have to latch in each branch. And I got that tree the weekend after Thanksgiving. And my baby brother, who is no longer with us, actually got it down for me. And my friend Sabrina, you guys are familiar with her, she came over and she created this mantelpiece for me using those pieces as well as pieces that I already had on hand, so that I wouldn't have to go out and buy anything extra. And I think it turned out beautifully. So that's a tip for you guys. If you want to create a mantelpiece and you have an old Christmas tree, don't ever throw that away, because it can always be used to fill in your Christmas tree, or to make mantelpieces, or to fill in garland throughout the Christmas season. They have so many great uses, so don't throw away those branches. And when I sit in my chair and I look over at the mantle and at my Christmas tree, I just am reminded of the beautiful memories that I have of my baby brother and my loving mother. So I just wanted to show this to you guys. I did not do any other decorating in this room, simply because I wanted to stick with the red and green, and the rest of my room is really bright colors. And so I left my centerpiece on my table the same, and the 2 pieces that I normally use on either side of the mantle are on the tables next to the sofa. And so I didn't want to add the red and green in, because it looked really odd when I tried it out. It looked really odd, and I didn't really like the way that it looked overall. So I hope you guys enjoyed this portion of my Christmas tree and my mantle. As you can see over here, Our table is also set for the holidays, and so we're going to go and check that out next. So those of you all who are on my Facebook page, you probably remember these red and white whimsical trees that look like they're from Wooville in my entryway. And when I posted the 2 settings, most of you guys liked the second setting better, and that really worked out for me because the red and white trees actually look better on my tablescape because my dishes included a lot of white. And so what I did here is that I simply added a teardrop wreath in the middle, and I sat the tree in the center of that wreath, and then I tied a simple red and green bow. And for my actual place settings, I used a white plate that I picked up a couple of years ago from Home Goods, and then the red and green plates are Fiesta ware that I registered for when I got married. And then the red and white napkins, if you guys remember those were picked up during my Dillard's shopping haul. And I picked up 2 red and 2 green because that's all they had, which was perfect because my table setting only sits 4. And then these cute little napkin ring holders, I picked these up at the beginning of the season at Hobby Lobby. I believe they were $3.99 a piece, and they were 50% off. And so for those of you guys who voted on my place setting, I did decide to go with the silver. At first, I was really feeling the gold because if you look closely on the napkin ring holder, it is trimmed in gold. But once I got everything set up, the silver on these little platters stood out a lot more, and it just kind of, made more sense with this table. And so I decided to go ahead and go with the silver cutlery. And so I'm going to go around and show you guys that the white picture frames, I don't know if you remember my Joann haul, but I picked those up. I think they were like 8 cents a piece. And so that's what I used for place settings. The red and white polka dot bowls, I just kind of sat those on that. Those can be used for dessert for breakfast and, so on and so forth. I picked those up at Dillard's during my Dillard's shopping haul as well. Over here they are a new addition. These are presents, and I thought these would be perfect salt and pepper shakers because they kind of kept with the theme of my Christmas table for this year. I picked those up at Ross, and they were $2.99 for the set of 2. And then the red and green tiered platters, I purchased both of those at Dillard's during one of my mini shopping hauls, and I believe they were around $5 or less per piece. So I'm just going to go around the table and show you guys my tablescape. If you're interested in seeing how to put this all together, I don't mind breaking it down and putting it together, but just leave me a comment in the description, in the comments below, and I will be sure to get you a video on how to put together a Christmas tablescape. And the tiered platters are great for serving breakfast and, just kind of, we're not going to do a formal dinner here. We're going to do more of light entertainment, things of that nature, because my mother-in-law always hosts a huge Christmas dinner at her house. So that is our Christmas tablescape. And over here on our bar area, and this is right next to the Christmas tree, and we're just kind of flowing with the same theme, I hung 2 large ornaments from the ceiling, and then I just kind of set up the bar area as well for Christmas. And over the sink area, I just have the red and green napkins, and I picked those up from Target last year during their after Christmas sale, and they were like 30 cents or something crazy like that, but it all fit in. And so that is what our kitchen looks like for Christmas, because we didn't have lights over this bar area, and so I thought it would be great, and my ceiling is painted green, by the way, you guys, but I thought it would be great to add those over the bar area in place of lights. So that is my decor for Christmas in our kitchen, and it kind of, it flows with the Christmas tree and the entryway, and so red and green is kind of my theme for the main areas in the house. Now we're going to go to the guest room and the other room. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed viewing the entryway and the main living room, the kitchen, eating areas, and bar area in our home. I am actually going to have to do a video part 2. This is going to be a little bit long, and I didn't want to do a 30-minute video, so I'm going to break them up to part 1 and part 2. So I know that I previously mentioned that we would go into the other areas of our home, but you will have to watch it in part 2. So I'm going to post these at the same time. So once you finish watching this one, you can go and watch part 2. So I hope you guys have enjoyed part 1 and tune in to part 2. Okay, so over here, over our bar area, we have 2 huge ornaments that I hung from the ceiling in place of lights. And I thought those would be cute to hang there because we didn't have any lights over that seating area. And then I just simply set up a quick place setting over here with the Christmas tree and the 2 plates and the cookie server that I found at Goodwill. And I think both of those pieces may have been 50 cents each. And over here, I have 2 towels that I purchased at Target last year after Christmas. And I believe those were like 30 cents for the pack of 2. So I'm going to show you guys this area again. And then we are going to move on to the next part. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed viewing the entryway and the main living room, the kitchen, eating areas, and bar area in our home. I am actually going to have to do a video part 2. This is going to be a little bit long, and I didn't want to do a 30-minute video, so I'm going to break them up to part 1 and part 2. So I know that I previously mentioned that we would go into the other areas of our home, but you will have to watch it in part 2. So I'm going to post these at the same time. So once you finish watching this one, you can go and watch part 2. So I hope you guys have enjoyed part 1 and tune in to part 2.